Today I want to show you some of the options under the settings tab that you'll have to set up when you load the new Accutech software for the Accufit units. So first you may see this that prompts you to enter an operator. So that would be the person that would be doing the fit test. I'll enter my name in here. And you could add other people as well. So let's just add another person. Okay, so now we have two operators to choose from. And this would be the first tab under the settings, or the first option of the settings tab. Next one would be organization, and this really defines your database. So you can see right now it says default database or organization here, same thing up here. So let's change that. I'm going to set this up. Use Levitt-Safety as this would be the main organization or main database. So I save that. Now, if you're in a company that you just want one database for your organization, you don't have multiple locations, or you're not fit testing other companies, this might be the way to go. Just set up this organization. There are sub-organizations, and I'll show that, but I don't necessarily recommend using it if you don't need to. The reason is that each sub-organization acts as a separate database. So I'll get into that in a second, but let's put the logo in here. So we can add a picture of the logo. So that will show up on reports. Now, again, if I was just fit testing at Levitt-Safety and I don't, like, we do have separate offices, so I could put in like the Moncton office. And I could put in the Oakville office. Now, what you'll find up here, so this will make more sense as you're using the equipment, but now I have the main organization database is Levitt-Safety, and then I have the Moncton office and the Oakville office. Now, when I'm adding people later on, if I put them under the Moncton office, they're only in this database. They're not in the Oakville or the Levitt-Safety main database. They're only in this one. It was described by the people that made the software that there are some companies that would want separate databases to only look at the certain fit tests that are done in only the Oakville office or the Moncton office. Or you could be a contractor that could be ABC company that does fit testing at lots of different other companies. So these would all be treated as separate databases. So not to complicate this, again, you may want to just have the one main database and not set up these sub-organizations or sub-databases if they're not needed. So now we'll look at the regional preferences. So I'm in Canada, but if you were in whatever country, you would select that. I would, for Canada, and I'll deselect the ANSI because they're not used here. The CSA Z94.4 2018, that's the 3.5 minute fit test for any respirator. So that's the one I want to use. Now, if you wanted to run the older 7-minute fit test for an N95, you could optionally, but using the Accufit9000, you can fit test any of these, any respirator basically using the standard here. This is being the 3.5 minute test. This is a 7-minute test. So you could test it either way, but most of our clients here like to use a 3.5 minute. Now, okay, so I would leave these checked, include operator signature line on reports. Same thing, the employee signature on reports. Now, these people data attributes, you could, this would be something that it's an attribute or something that's added to when you're adding people in, something that can be added in, like say if you want to know what department do they work in, or any other thing that may set them apart. So I could, for example, I could say, okay, we want to know their department, and you could have it required for people data. So now when I add a person in, there would be a little section there that says department. And anyway, basically you could go back, and if you look at, say, if I put my name into it and I'm in the sales department, if you looked up my name under people, you would have Ken McDonald. There'd be a department, and you could have sales in there. Just give you more information on where I work, basically. So that's the settings in under organization, data import. Now we could import files. I'm going to make another video on this later, but you can import different database files. You can import the data from a device from the Accufit itself. And probably one of the more important things down here is your database actually resides at this location. So the organization, like there'll be a database named Levitt-Safety with all the fit tests, all the people, everything resides in this location on your computer if someone's looking for it to back it up or whatever it would be. So again, I'm going to make a more detailed video on data importing and exporting. Next thing would be respirators. So we do have quite a few of these respirators listed. Now, one thing to watch is that some of like this software was designed in the US. So you may notice that, like for example, AV3000, that's a SCBA face piece. Here it shows a pass mark of 500. So it's good to verify this because in Canada, if you're fit testing an SCBA face piece, it's actually a fit test pass mark of 1,000. So we'd want to change that. Okay, so now that's 1,000. So in Canada, if it's an N95 or half face respirator, the pass mark is 100. So I could see some of these other ones here that 100 looks good. And for a full face that's using filters, not an SCBA, the pass mark is 500. Anyway, that would be 500. And I'll just see another SCBA here listed at 500. So again, this being an SCBA face piece, the pass mark is actually 1,000 in Canada. So we want to change that. Okay. Now, these are some that are preloaded. I could go in and add a respirator. So if I want to add, say, a 3M. Now, doing this, it's a model, let's say, well, some people call it a 6200, but you could also call it so 6200 is a medium. Some people like just calling it 6000 series, and it's a half mask. The pass value it's a half face respirator, so the pass mark is 100. It's not an N95, so I don't check that. This doesn't really matter there. And now I've got the 6000 series. When I actually go to fit test this, I'll have to tell if it's small, medium, or large. Or I could have gone back in and called it a 6100, 6200, 6300 for small, medium, and large. Now, I can also select these so that when I actually go into the fit test, if I'm only fit testing these and maybe these and maybe this, these are the main options that will come up when I'm doing the fit testing. So this is the basics of what's under the settings in the software.